So, I have finally gotten to a point in my dev journey that I feel comfortable documenting what I've done. I'm finally no longer making Pong games over and over, but I'm finally making stuff that I'm proud of, and I really want to document it. Currently, I have 2 projects that have been released. They're small horror narratives. You can probably beat them in about 10 to 15 minutes. They're free, and I'd love for you to check them out. I love the feedback. That helps me grow as a developer. Granted, there's still really small indie stuff for game jams. I am still loving every aspect of the process. And I wanted to do some form of devlogging, but I didn't want to do the traditional based devlogging that you usually see. And mostly because I didn't want people to kind of watch paint dry. It's not that there's anything wrong with that, but I wanted to do kind of a short form, semi deep dive. So I thought maybe we could zone in on one particular piece and then kind of really see how that aspect worked and how I made it work. So I thought for the first one, it would be a really good idea to kind of do a semi deep dive into the sound design and how I tackled the sound design for this particular project. I think sound is half the experience, especially when it comes to horror. You know, it helps build the atmosphere. It drives the immersion.
He didn't show it.
I gave.
Ultimately, it serves as a way to communicate information, and that information could be a feeling. Maybe the director or the game developer wants you to feel uneasy, or they're trying to build tension in a particular scene. Maybe it just cues up a quest or a mission complete, or maybe it's just a simple interaction noise. But sound is the other piece of that really helps set the scene. Dead Space is a fantastic example of really setting up scenes with sound. Or even sometimes no sound at all. But it really gets you to tense up, and it makes you just kind of, get engulfed in the atmosphere. Is engulfed the word? I have no idea. I am sure all of you at some point have stumbled across the videos of people doing Foley work. Their jobs look so fun. My first project that I did, the first game, was for a 30-day horror jam. And I actually recorded everything on this mic right here, Audio Technica, which is kind of funny because we were recording everything here in my living room. And so we were throwing boxes at the table, and we were, for the monster noises, we were chewing vegetables and crackers here at my desk and just trying to come up with all these different sounds. And this isn't the worst mic in the world. It's actually a pretty decent one, but it's just not really in a position to record sounds, at least not easily. But for my next project, I really wanted to up the ante. So I got this portable sound recorder, specifically the Zoom H6, and I got a killer deal on it. I would recommend everybody go check out the Facebook Marketplace if you're ever looking for hardware. People are willing to offload so much stuff. And I got this a few towns over. The guy was more than happy to ship it to me, and that's like massive upgrade. So this isn't really a product review of the H6 by any means, But I wanted to show the device that I use that really kind of helped me level up the audio in this project. So my sister and I spent the whole day recording Foley for the game. I had this long list of stuff, and we basically spent the entire afternoon running around the house going, oh, I think this sound could be that, or maybe we can mix these up together to make it sound like this, and maybe if we shuffle these around, that'll sound like this. And all of these sounds we recorded are used in the game. I also sculpt clay as one of my other side hobbies, and very early on I was working on a particular piece, and the way I would learn when I was sculpting is I would watch artists all day. I would watch the professionals, the people that are really good at it sculpt, and I really enjoyed watching the process. I honestly think it's a really good way to learn, if not one of the best ways to learn, especially when it comes to sculpting. And I was at a point where I was trying to paint skin texture on one of my models, and the artist I was watching was talking about painting the perfect skin color. And it wasn't about finding the one color that was perfect. It was about layering all different kinds so that instead, when they come together, they then combine to make the perfect color. You layer the small blues, maybe some slight reds, add some pinks, some yellows, and then at the end, everything blends together and it creates this texture that would otherwise be impossible to make on its own. And I think a lot of that can be said about sound design and a lot of artistic things actually. But layering it, even if it's something small like a shotgun reload or maybe a gunfire blast or chewing or whatever it is, adding these extra layers of subtle sounds really add to the effect. Whether you're building more onto the chunkiness of the sound, or maybe trying to flatten it out, or even trying to add a bit of a higher tone to it. All of these help build the character of the sound, and that is what is important. Let's take a look at the shotgun blast that I did. It's literally just me going around my house, slamming all of the doors over and over until I kind of got the sound that I liked. And then I stacked them all on top of each other to make this real chunkiness. It had some like high pitches in there, and it varied enough. And to make it vary even more and add that little bit of icing to the cake, I added a randomizer to fluctuate the pitch and the amplification just ever so slightly. And then you're left with this. Early on when I started learning Unreal, I was reaching out to a lot of people in forums, Reddit and the Unreal forums, and asking a lot of these really complex questions, trying to flesh out all these ideas that I had. And somebody commented on one of my posts, and I can't remember the quote exactly, but it was something to the tune of, game design is kind of like magic tricks. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors, and ultimately if it works for you, it works for you. Who cares what happens behind the scenes? Well, actually, a lot of people do. But the important takeaway on that is that you can build your games kind of however you want. And if it works for you, then it works for you. I wanted to do this kind of small form devlogging that was slightly deeper than surface level, but not quite a deep dive. And I think I will continue to analyze aspects of games in this similar style, using my games as the cannon fodder. Hopefully you found this somewhat educational and entertaining at the same time. That's all I got, and I will see you guys in the next one.